Hello there, I'm continuing to look through my camera collection, and this time I'm doing my DSLRs. I don't have that many when it comes to numbers, but there's still quite a few of them. The reason I'm looking through my cameras is because they are becoming a bit too many. It's sort of turning into a problem, so I want to reduce them and focus more on photography instead of gear. So, well, yeah, but first of all I need to look through what cameras I have. Not that many, and only 3 brands. I have Canon, Nikon and Fujifilm, and the reason is well, because you also need lenses for the cameras, and I've tried to concentrate it to, well, as few systems as possible. And the Fujifilm and Nikon use the same. Canon can use Nikon, but still I prefer to use Canon's dedicated lenses. I don't have that many Canon lenses, I have mostly Nikon lenses, so yeah, that's what I mostly shoot with, also the Nikon DSLRs. Yeah, but I don't need this many, so I need to decide which ones to keep and which ones do I get rid of. So let's get started here up in the corner with a Canon EOS 400D. Let's get the focusing in the right spot. Yeah, a Canon EOS 400D, which was the first DSLR I bought myself. First camera I bought myself. Yeah, it's a very nice beginner's camera. And even though, well, actually now I have gotten to use most of the, well, big camera models and brands from that time, at least when it comes to Canon and Nikon. And I can say that I think I did make the right decision for this one, even though it's, let's say, basic camera. It still has, well, fully manual mode, and you can use professional Canon lenses on it. So it's a, well, cheap and small and light camera. Very good way to get into photography. Since it is the first model, of course, I have to keep it. 350 digital, the predecessor to the 400D. Well, this one I don't need to keep. It's very similar. The 400D has more advanced features and, well, 2 more megapixels. So this one I can definitely sell. And then we are continuing with 1100D. This one is not in very good condition. This mirror bumper foam is falling off, the grip is missing, so this one I can basically not get anything for selling. So I also don't have a battery for it. I have the charger, not the battery. But this one could be a good candidate for, let's say, doing infrared conversion. I don't know if it has live view. I think it actually has live view. So yeah, then it could be a very good candidate for infrared conversion. Yeah, so I will keep it for that reason. Here we have one of the absolute classics, the 5D. It's a very powerful camera, full frame, 35mm from 2004 or 5 I would say. Yeah, it's a very popular camera, but it's not one of my favorites. I don't know why precisely. I mean, when it comes to, let's say, ergonomics and usability, it's quite nice, but the image quality, it is good also, but the colors, I'm not really agreeing with the color rendition of it. Many people like it for the colors, but, or actually I have not tried it with a professional Canon lens. I guess my opinion about it could change then. I mostly use cheap lenses and M42 lenses. And over here I have a bunch of double-digit prosumer Canon cameras, 10Ds, very nice. Not one I would recommend starting with, because you cannot use the EFS lenses without modifying them, because the mirror size on this one is like APS-H, so it's the mirror will hit the back of the EFS lenses. It's a nice, let's say, early Canon DSLR, and this one I do want to keep because it's a nice one to have in a collection. Of course, the idea was to not have too much of a collection, but I like the art with the photos as well. But okay, let's put it to sell. 20D in a very nice condition. It's more advanced than the 10D. I would recommend this one over the 10D. It has 8 megapixels, and yeah, you can get them for like 20-30 euros these days, so it's a very good deal. And that would be one argument to not put it to sell, because I cannot get so much for it, so it's better to keep it. But yeah, I could also put it to the sell. 30D, very similar to 20D, some small improvements. Also a good recommendation for a beginner camera, but yeah, okay, it can also go. Throwing out all the Canons here almost. Here's a 40D. This one I will keep. This was one of my dream cameras back in the day, which I never ended up getting. But I found one recently for quite cheap, so I want to make a review of it and test it, and this one I might keep for a longer time actually. Yeah, let's continue with Nikon D100. Yeah, I really like this camera. This one I want to keep because it does have a very unique look to the photos. It's different than the other Nikons because it lets through much more infrared light. The photos do look unique from this camera. It's very nice for nature photos actually. But yeah, I want to shoot more of these cameras. This one I keep definitely. Then next, D70. This is a successor to the D100, more advanced. And yeah, but it's not that's special, let's say, for me at least. I'd rather keep the D100, but still not a very good camera, and also a very good beginner's camera could be today. So this one I will sell, even though it does have some problems. Sometimes it doesn't work. And continuing with the D80, it has the same sensor as the D200. Very nice camera, 10 megapixels, superb. Like let's say beginner's camera. But I'm not really using it, so I will sell this one as well. Nikon D90, yeah, it's a CMOS version of the D80. It also has live view and video, more advanced and nice, but I'm not really using it, so it can also go to the cell. And here is a D700, and this one is my absolute favorite DSLR. Very powerful camera, very nice settings and everything. Yeah, full frame as well, 35mm. Yeah, this one I actually use for, let's say, serious photography. Okay, not professional photography, but let's say for landscape photography. I mean, it has only 12 megapixels, but it's very good 12 megapixels. Of course, I also use my other cameras for, let's say, serious photography, but this one has much more potential, so I do prefer using this one. And then D200. This is another legend, like the 5D. Yeah, I also like it. I like it especially for night photography, because it has very nice noise grain, and also nice glitches and so on. Yeah, and also people do like it because it has very nice colors, and yeah, it's a nice camera overall, very, very good. I could recommend this as a beginner's camera as well, but I think the D80 and D90 are better for that purpose. And then we go to the special section, the Fujifilm cameras, and I have them all of the S Pro series. Here's a 1, 2, here's the 3, and here is 5. And I have not tested all of these enough to be able to make a, let's say, educated opinion about them. My favorite so far is the S1 Pro, and well, to find out why, you will have to watch my review of it, which will come up at some point. I have shot like 500 shots with this right now, so I have not used it in the winter because it started glitching, or not glitching, but started giving me error messages when shooting in cold weather, so I'd rather not destroy it. But this one is my favorite of the Fujifilm ones so far, so definitely keep it. The S2 Pro is also very nice, and one reason why I like the S1 and S2 is because they have a lot of glitches. The photos have very interesting rendering and interesting color as well, in combination with the glitches, so they make for a very nice, well, vintage DSLR, as opposed to the D700, which is basically a modern camera. So yeah, these are a bit more quirky and have different looking output. And then the S3 Pro, well, people do seem very interested in finding cameras which have a film-like rendering, and this one actually, one of my first reactions when looking at my photos from this camera was that it kind of looks like 35mm C41 film scanned in a flatbed scanner when looked on with a bit more magnification. So, but at the same time it also has a, let's say, digital look, but this camera I have to use a bit more to be able to tell. So I will keep it. I think I will keep it anyway, because this is a bit more rare model to find. They're not that common. I mean, all of the S Pro series. And then the S5 Pro, so far I'm not so convinced by it. It uses the Nikon D200 body. The other S Pro cameras uses like the f65 for the S1 and f80 for the S2 and S3. So they're like film camera bodies, and yeah, they basically have, well, it's a Nikon on the front and Fujifilm on the back. So the sensor and the processor are like Fujifilm. And this one actually uses it's based on a digital camera from the beginning, so it's much more, let's say, user-friendly than the other models. But still, I'm not so convinced by it. It's like, I don't know. It's like probably just a me problem, not the camera itself, but I will use it more, and return with a review about this camera. I think this is a good collection for now. It becomes very distracting to have too many cameras when shooting, like which camera should I use now, and I have not used this camera for a long time, I need to use this camera, and so on and so forth. Like it's better to just have, well, the camera when you go taking pictures, or like 2 or 3 or something. But they do give very different results, and of course it's not only about photography, it's also about the camera technology, which interests me about this, so it's fun to see how the camera technology has progressed over time. And if I would keep 2 of these cameras, it would be the S1 Pro and the 700. And after that I would probably put the 400D. And then maybe the 200, S2, S3. Yep. I think this is all for this video now. I will make one more, let's say, conclusion video about this whole thing. Because now I'm a bit exhausted from cameras, looking through my camera collection. And I've been recording for hours, so yeah. But see you in that video. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye!